It's fairly popular these days to beat down on the Star Wars Disney sequels. And that's for good reason. Among many of the missed opportunities from these movies, we find the Knights of Ren. Kylo Ren's elite squad of powerful warriors that we see only briefly throughout the films until their eventual demise in Episode 9. Episodes 7 through 9 are lacking compelling villains beyond Kylo Ren, and it would have been great to get to know antagonists that we could see go back and forth with Rey and the rest of the Rebel crew. Perhaps with some of them maybe turning back to the light, or dying tragically, or even just at least being an in-between challenge for Rey to help show her growth as a Jedi, or challenges for Finn or Poe to overcome as well. But no, they get no dialogue and are basically window dressing for scenes, and only ultimately exist to expand a Kylo Ren action figure set. There's actually some interesting lore to Ren and the predecessors of the name and the lightsaber itself, the Ren. But we never got any of that in these films. Instead, we got, well, what we got in the sequels.
They fly now! They fly now? They fly now!
The philosophy of Ren and the Ren in comparison to the Order of the Sith is actually a pretty interesting idea. And again, considering that Ben Solo took the mantle of Kylo Ren while still not taking the lightsaber, the Ren, could have all been interesting to see, and would have been much more interesting than somehow
Palpatine returned.
It's a fascinating direction to take to expand the dark side and the ways to become corrupted by it. Instead of villains like that, we get rushed high-stakes villain Palpatine, Palpatine's glorified bathrobe puppet,
I cannot be betrayed.
and Hux.
Okay, I'll hold.
Hello?
Hello? Yep, I'm still here.
Can he hear me?
And Captain Phasma, I guess, but damn, she could get her own video too. There's another huge missed opportunity of a character right there. The worst part about this is that unlike a lot of Star Wars where more shallow parts can be effectively explained and expanded on through spin-off media, I wouldn't want them to elaborate more on who the Knights of Ren were. They all get pretty easily defeated by Ben Solo while not speaking a word to him at all. They're apparently super uncaring that their ultimate leader has suddenly betrayed them and is trying to stop the Sith. Yet, if the lore is to be believed, their allegiances aren't necessarily to the Sith by default. So, I mean, it could have been interesting to see if some of them maybe turned to stay with Ben Solo or not, but oh well, none of that. Sure, apparently Palpatine did secretly get the Knights of Ren on his side by the point of Episode 9, but at one point in their lore, they were actually also fighting against him. So really, it's just more lazy character inconsistencies for the sake of a rushed script. It would almost hurt all the more if they decided to make a cool animated or live-action spin-off series that expands on the backstories of these characters and makes me appreciate their storylines. Cause then, watching these redeemed characters having unceremonious and lame deaths like this makes it all the worse. Again, I really think that if they focused more on developing these antagonist characters, or any creatively designed antagonist characters, you wouldn't just have cooler lore for the toys, but you'd also have better movies to watch. Part of what makes the Clone Wars and Rebels series great is how they rejuvenate the character of Maul, and reintroduce him as an active participant in the greater Star Wars universe.
I was forgotten. But I survived. And I can thrive in the chaos that is to come.
He's not the main bad guy, so we often can use Maul as a stepping stone to show when one of our protagonists gets stronger, like Ahsoka beating Maul to show how much she's developed as a Jedi Knight. On top of all that, we just get a more engaging character to watch develop, say cool lines, and perform cool attacks. It still works as solid entertainment for both children and adult audiences. Again though, I wouldn't want any of that for the Knights of Ren. None of them have the unique, striking design of a character like Boba Fett or Maul that makes me want to see media that's about them. They weren't given any character development or threats to overcome in order for me to be interested in seeing what happens to them.
Knights of Ren. Ghouls.
And the thing is, all of this hypothetical character development for these characters should have happened. Star Wars has already done this with other minor antagonist characters, and done it effectively as well. But unfortunately, the sequels are the sequels, and even though I do find slivers of redeeming qualities here and there with those movies, they are wrought with low-quality storytelling and rushed and uncoordinated character arcs. It's unfortunate because Ren and the Knights of Ren And Star Wars fans deserved better. A lot better.